Hey everybody, I'm Jordan Garza, and welcome back to Unredacted. So on today's all right, fine. As my friend here has clearly pointed out, I was gone for a week. I apologize. It was a slow news week. I just didn't find anything that was really interesting. I had a lot going on top of all that, and it just didn't come together the way I wanted it to. But I'm back now, and Nancy Pelosi is officially on the move. She landed this morning at Taiwan, being the first U.S. House Senate. Oh wow, being the first Speaker of the House to land in Taiwan in the last 25 years, which is pretty historic, and it's pissing off China something fierce. Now she's there on a diplomatic mission, but I believe while she's there, she's also going to be taking a tour of an NVIDIA factory, which her husband recently invested $5 million into, amid a upcoming chip bill. That sounds like insider trading. Hey, what do I know, right? And then, just then we'll round it all off with, just showing how silly of a country we have become, because the fact that this is a news story is insane. Trans cheerleader was kicked out of Rangers College cheerleading squad for choking out one of her 17-year-old teammate. We'll get to that. Let's start with Nancy Pelosi. So, I almost did it again. We gotta switch your scenes there. There you go. That's what we need. So, U.S. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi lands in Taiwan amidst threats of Chinese retaliation. U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi landed in Taipei on Tuesday, marking a significant show of support for Taiwan despite China's threat of retaliation over the visit. Now, for me, I'm very torn on how I feel about this. Everybody has their take, but for me, I'm very torn because I like pissing off China, but I also think, given the geopolitical climate of that area in the East, all of the confrontations going on in Eastern Europe, is right now the time of saber rattling against China. I don't know, but I do like making China mad, so we're gonna go with it. Pelosi's stop in Taipei is the first time a U.S. House Speaker has visited Taiwan in the last 25 years. Her trip comes as a low point in U.S.-China relations, despite warnings from the Biden administration against the stop in Taiwan. Oh, well, now I like it even more. If Biden doesn't like it, go Pelosi. Wow, I never thought I'd say that. Pelosi and the congressional delegation has accompanied her in a statement on Tuesday. The visit honor America's unwavering commitment and support to Taiwan's vibrant democracy. Our discussions with Taiwan leadership will focus on reaffirming our support for our partner and promoting our shared interests, including advancing a free and open Indo-Pacific region, the statement said. American solidarity with the 23 million people of Taiwan is more important today than ever. The world faces a choice between autocracy and democracy. Is that by Nancy Pelosi? That's good. Wow. Okay, props. That's a pretty good quote. The House Speaker is expected to visit Taiwan's presidential office and parliament on Wednesday morning, local time. A senior Taiwanese officer told CNN she will visit the parliament before heading to the presidential office for a meeting, and Taiwan's president, Tsai Ing-wen, the official said. Wow, I know I messed that one up. Tsai Ing-wen? When? I'm sure somebody can pronounce that, so, put it right and put it in the comments for me. Pelosi is expected to depart Taiwan later on Wednesday, according to the news release issued by the Foreign Ministry. The official was not authorized to speak on Pelosi's travel plans that have not been publicized. So, another thing is there's been a lot of, I guess rhetoric would be the right word. Media company inside of Beijing claiming that Beijing would be within its right to shoot down Nancy Pelosi's plane if it attempts to go to Taiwan. Now, you might be saying, Jordan's a media company, who cares? Well, this is China. In China, any kind of company that operates within China has to have an arm of the CCP overseeing or a part of the company. So I highly doubt that a media organization released this kind of statement without a CCP propagandist or official telling them to do so, or okaying it at least. So if a media organization says something like that, it might as well have been the Chinese government. That might be slightly hyperbolic, but the way the CCP works, it's not. It's really not that far out of the. And so Pelosi wrote an op-ed published in the Washington Post after she landed Tuesday, arguing that her trip demonstrated the U.S.'s commitment to Taiwan under the threat of China. In the face of the Chinese Communist Party accelerating aggression, our congressional delegation visit should be seen as an unequivocal statement that Americans stand with Taiwan, our democratic partner, as it defends itself and its freedom, the California Democrat wrote. Man, Nancy took her Addy before she got ready for this trip, because these are some decent quotes. I don't like her, but these are decent. I'm gonna have to take this video down. I've complimented Pelosi way too much. Video's over. I'm just kidding. Let's keep going now. Who cares? So part of the reason I'm bringing this up is because there was a lot of threats made against Pelosi for even doing this trip. Nancy Pelosi kablooey threat of Taiwan airport sparks investigation. I got to dance around some of this because I've been getting yelled at a little bit. Authorities in Taiwan are investigating a bomb threat made against the island's major international airport after an unsigned letter said to stop the U.S. House Speaker's visit on August 2nd. Taiwan's Aviation Police Bureau. That's cool. That's a cool... Aviation police. The Aviation Police Bureau said no suspicious items were discovered at the Taiwan airport of Tuesday afternoon, roughly 6 hours before Nancy Pelosi was due to arrive at a different airport in Taiwanese capital, according to local news reports. Airport authorities said they would set up a security measures and precaution. Now, I saw an article that I read earlier this morning that was saying we're spending almost $90 million of taxpayer money to provide security for Nancy Pelosi during this trip, which I believe the Biden administration deeply disagreed with. So the fact that we're spending that much money on a trip with this economy, with everything that's going on, finally I get to say, nah, that's a bad idea, Pelosi. All right, feeling better. Sorry, I had to get that out of the way. So congressional visits are common in Taiwan, but Pelosi's trip, still unconfirmed, so like I said, this is an older one, carries special significance because of her number 2 position to the presidential line of succession. If she sets foot on the island Tuesday, she'll only be the second serving Speaker of the House to visit Taiwan in the last 25 years. And I went over that earlier. It was down here. Yeah, here we go. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hu Xiong told reporters in Beijing on Tuesday, faced with U.S. reckless disregard of China's repeated and serious representations and countermeasures taken by the Chinese side will be justified and necessary, which is also the right of any independent and sovereign country. So yeah, China isn't happy about this. And from what I can tell, this trip is going to go off without a hitch. Everything should be fine. Like I said, I am recording this the day before, so if something horrible happens tomorrow, I'm gonna have a lot of egg on my face. But we're gonna hope that it goes off without a hitch. I don't want anyone to get hurt. But like I had said, part of her trip is actually to tour a NVIDIA chip manufacturing factory. Just take a tour, look around, stuff like that. But that to me seems pretty weird, especially considering that Nancy Pelosi's husband dumped his NVIDIA stock right before Congress is set to pass the Chips Plus bill. So that's insider trading. I'm sorry. Your wife is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and right before this big Chips Plus bill comes up, you decide to dump stock? So are your subsidies going to hurt the market? Are you trying to game that? This is insider trading. This is blatant. Paul Pelosi sold between $1 and $5 million, so you don't even know how much, $1 and $5 million worth of NVIDIA stock, or 25,000 shares, an average price of $165 per share on July 26, according to the mandatory congressional financial disclosure filed Tuesday by the Speaker. Members of Congress are only required to report the value of their trades in broad ranges. The disclosure states that by selling their shares, Paul Pelosi suffered a total loss of $341,365. So the fact that he took a loss of over almost $340,000 is clear. If you have NVIDIA stock, sell it, because it's going to. There are entire websites and pages dedicated to tracking Nancy Pelosi's financial and spending history and basically copying it. Because every time Pelosi or Paul Pelosi makes a move, the market just seems to go that way. And this isn't a new thing. This is something she's been accused of many times. Paul Pelosi himself is not the most trustworthy person. He was just recently arrested for, I think it was DWI or DUI, whatever, same difference. So he isn't exactly a person of high standing either. I wouldn't put this past either. This is a copy of the transaction report. I don't know how you're allowed to do this, but it's like $5 million. I don't know, somewhere in there. What? Insider previously reported that Paul Pelosi exercised 200 call options or 20,000 shares of NVIDIA worth between $1 and $5 billion on June 17th as a strike price of $100. Paul Pelosi trade comes in a time when Congress is set to pass the Chips Plus bill, which will invest $54 billion in stateside semiconductor manufacturing and research. Great. Pass that bill. But you're really going to sit there with a straight face and expect me to believe that this isn't some form of insider trading? Come on, man. Here's a prime example. Congress considers stock ban. The Speaker's husband trade also arises at the time when Congress is debating whether its members and their spouses should even be allowed to buy, sell, or hold individual stocks at all. I mean, I don't know about being allowed. No, yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. There's no reason you shouldn't be allowed to have this kind of. I mean, it's literally classified information about what moves are going to be made, and then also be able to run and pull your phone out, hop on Webull real quick. And, what was it? What was it again? Nvidia? Come on, man. Ridiculous. So, Pelosi herself originally opposed the idea, saying we are a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that. No. Insider trading exists for a reason, and it's for this. It's for this nonsense right here. Potato, tell them. Thank you. So, she ultimately backtracked after sharp criticism from members of Congress on both sides of the aisle and general public, allowing bipartisan groups of lawmakers to draft bills and hold a public hearing. Oh, she allowed it. She backed off. Really? I've said to the House Administrative Committee, review all the bills that are coming and see which ones where the support is in our causes, Pelosi said. If a member wants to do that, I'm okay with that. Okay, well, dude, I'm sorry. I'm not going to go on and on and on. This is insider trading. On top of the fact that you're also going to visit a particular factory in which you just dumped a bunch of stock in, why? I mean, it just seems sleazy to me. I'm sorry. It doesn't seem right. Something's wrong there. But anyway, speaking of things that just don't seem right, we got this story from the New York Post. Transgender cheerleader booted from college, denies physical altercations. Trans cheerleader was kicked out of Texas college for allegedly choking a teammate, denies there was any physical altercation, and intends to sue. Oh, wow. Avril Chelik Medlock, 25, insisted that her side of the story wasn't heard before she was slapped with a $500 criminal citation and kicked off the cheer team for allegedly assaulting another cheerleader on July 21st at Ranger College. You don't get to tell your side of the story when there are multiple witnesses and like reports of you choking someone out to nearly passing out. You get to tell your side of the story in court, but you sure as hell don't get to tell your side of the story there. You gotta go. Medlock, whose legal name is Avery Channel Stetchell, claims her teammate Carly Jones got upset when she refused to buy her a vape. Medlock later went to Carly's room to apologize, but an argument ensued rather than the assault as alleged, she recalled. And this is that's scary. I'm sorry, that's mean, but that's scary. Sorry, that's hold on, give me a second. Oh. What is it? Oh man, maybe that was him before. I don't know. Okay, let's get back to it. So I've seen multiple reports. I think there was a video. I know the video was deceptively edited. Teammate then called her father, who called the police. She said the athlete said she was then escorted off university grounds and booted from Ranger College cheer team. She now plans to sue the school for discrimination and is currently searching for an attorney. Good luck with that search, bro. You choked someone out. There are multiple witnesses. There's multiple accounts. Are you serious? I mean, look, hold on. Let's go to somebody that isn't like clearly taking their side. This is horrible. Here. This is, I don't know what. The Washington Post was off on that one. Avery Chanel Medlock, 25, was booted from the Ranger College cheerleading camp in Texas, given a criminal assault citation for physical contact last week. She's accused of choking a 17-year-old teammate, only identified by her first name, Carly, who she claimed made a transphobic remark towards her. The girl and the other teammates allegedly locked themselves in a locker room to hide from the raging Medlock, who claimed she was being targeted for her race and gender. You don't get to choke people and then claim you're the victim. Or maybe this is it. From the other side of the door, female voices could be heard telling Medlock, you're a man and you have a deal. Yeah, that right there. I'm just not pushing it today. I'm not. Medlocks, who stood outside, told the girls behind the door that they'd crossed a line with Medlock, ending the confrontation by saying, there's no beef between me and you. Sorry to upset you. Yeah, I'm sure there was no beef. You already choked her out. What? That is just not correct. Well, guys, I'm officially retired as a cheerleader as of last night, 5:30 a.m. Medlock wrote in a Facebook post, which she shared last week. A girl on the team was being very disrespectful to me, told me I was a man with the junk, and that guys should not be on the team. I think cheerleading is like a boy-girl sport. Yeah, because there's guys that are normally at the bottom, or they help with the throws. Whatever, I guess that's not really important. Jones' account of the incident was far different, however. Writing in the Facebook post, she called terrified daughter at 1 a.m., and she had barricaded herself behind a door to hide from Medlock, who allegedly choked her out. Several teammates corroborated this account of events. I ask you, what would you have done when receiving a phone call at 1 a.m.? I believe this is the father. Yeah. 1 o'clock in the morning from your daughter saying that they had locked themselves in a room with other girls and that the person you said you want to fight, after this person said you want to fight and proceeded to put their hands around my daughter's neck, he wrote. I'm just trying really hard not to be overly mean. They knew I was trans. They knew I was different from all the other girls, and I wasn't a big deal until her dad came up and made a scene. No, it wasn't a big... No, everyone was cool with you being trans and you being on the team until you started choking people out. I don't understand why when someone who's trans does something wrong, they're not allowed to be the oppressor. They always have to be the victim simply because they're trans. I mean, let's talk about Fallon Fox. And 10 years ago? Huge woman who had transitioned and was literally breaking women's orbital sockets in the MMA ring. Or Leah Thomas, who's literally breaking NCAA female records by leaps and bounds, shattering records. He was middle of the road swimmer when he was a man. This is something that's been going on and on. I mean, there's the skateboarding tournament where the guy, a trans man, entered the tournament and beat a 12-year-old girl, and then said, "I'm not going to take it easy on them just because they're kids." What? Well, I don't have testosterone. I've taken the replacement. That has nothing to do with prenatal testosterone. Prenatal testosterone has a great effect on muscle mass and fast twitch muscle response. So you can't take that out by injecting estrogen into yourself. It has no effect on your bone mass, your bone build, the size of your shoulders, the way you physically operate. I mean, when it comes to like the skateboarding thing, did you know that the way that women's skeletons are set up, actually, really, when it comes to the skateboarding thing, did you know that women's skeletons are actually set up in a way that because their hips are wider, their femurs have to come out at more at an angle, which puts more stress on the knees, joints, and ankles. So this actually gives women a higher perplexity. Yeah, that's the right word. A higher perplexity for being injured or of just taking lower body injuries, hips, knees, ankles. All of these things are weakened because of the way their bones are situated. And no amount of estrogen or hormone replacement therapy is going to change the way your bones are positioned. It's idiocy. And here we go. I'm going to sound very right wing here, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Biological men should not be in female sports. I don't know why this is hard for everyone to understand. Okay? We have done this for as long as there has been organized sport for a reason. There are biological differences between men and women. Men excel in different things, and women excel in different things. I mean, think about this. Long distance runners, women tend to be able to run longer distances than men, but men are much better sprinters. It's just down to anatomy, and no amount of hormone replacement therapy or acceptance or affirming surgery is going to change that. Your bones are different. You're made differently. I don't have a problem with you wanting to be trans. I don't have a problem with people wanting to be an androgynous tree person. I'm libertarian. I don't care. But when you start entering into events that puts other people in danger because you have a significant biological advantage that no one that you're competing against can hope to achieve without also, being a man, it's not fair. And that is what irritates me. That's what is not even not fair. It's dangerous. That's what makes me mad. That's what makes me get all heated and seem like I'm right-wing crazy person, because I have no problem with trans people. I have a problem with people taking advantage of people they have a significant physical advantage over and then using that to make money. Is that wrong? I guess if I'm wrong, feel free to tell me in the comments, but that's pretty much all I'm going to say on it today, guys. If you want to argue with me about the trans thing, if you want to laugh at me that I complimented Pelosi a couple of times, or, just want to tell me my shirt's stupid. That's cool. Comment, like, subscribe, share it to somebody else so you can maybe teach them something, maybe laugh at me together. That's fine. But that's pretty much it for today, guys. If something crazy happens in Taiwan, I'll make a, like an emergency video or something. We'll put it out. Otherwise, it'll probably be coming out Thursday evening or morning. And that's pretty much it for me today, guys. Potato, take it away. Well said. All right, guys, keep your eyes open, ears to the ground, and I'll see y'all next time.